alaikum. Assalamu alaikum guys. Welcome back with another video. As you know that we have started the PHP and our last lecture was about to the constant operators and string functions, these type of things we discussed. And in last video we went over to the PHP conditional statements and we discussed the if else if switch statement. Okay, so these things we covered in last video. So today we gonna discuss about PHP loops. What is PHP loops? Often when you write code or you want the same block of code to run over and over again against a certain number of times. Okay, so you use the loop. Let's say you want to write or you want to print the digit 2, the number 200 times. So instead of writing to every time, you just use the concept of the loop. And loops are used to execute the same block of code again and again as long as a certain condition is true. So we discuss these various type of loops later. Basically in PHP we have the four types of loop. We have the while loop, we have the do while, we have the for loop, and one special loop which is called the for each loop. And while loop, I'm just giving you a little bit intro that while loop is actually runs. Okay, it actually runs as long as the given condition is true. Do while loop actually runs once. Okay, as it will always run one time. Okay, it doesn't care any condition whether the condition is true or false. It will run one time always. Okay, either the condition is true or the false. And for loops we use when we know in advance that how many times we want to run the script. And the last one for each, actually we this loop is basically designed for array to check an elements in array or array purposes. We use this for each loop. So we need to discuss these things one by one. First of all, we need to discuss the PHP while loop. So how the PHP while loop works, this is a very simple and easy thing. So I need to start quickly in coding. I need to define the PHP. So once I have defined this successfully, what I need to do, I need to just define a variable. Let's say I'm taking the variable s and I'm defining with the 1. So once I defined it here, now applying while loop I'm applying. So while loop I'm applying, now I need to give the condition that, let's say I'm saying this dollar as this condition is true until it is equal to the 5. So inside I need to print out equal, and I'm saying numbers are. So once I define this one, now I need to give this dollar as here one. So once I need to also give the break condition. The reason for this break condition, the every digit is on in another separate. And in last, I need to add the increment operator. And why I am adding this increment operator? Actually, if the condition is true, let's say first of all this compiler starts running from here one. I initialize the variable with the 1. So once I initialize, it actually check the condition as 1 is less than, oh sorry, um, as this variable is less than 5. Okay, so what it need to do, it actually increments this one, this dollar ss, which will now change into 2. Okay, it will increment until this condition is false. Okay, sorry, here I'm using the less than sign. If one is less than 5, yes, condition is true, then increment this one time 2. Then again this whole loop will check, and here it check is 2 is less than 5, yes, then it will again run until it matches this 5. When it reaches on the 5, okay, now the condition is false. So once the condition is false, it will never execute this increment. It just displays all the number, okay, in the specified condition. So we need to save the file and we need to go back in our browser So let me go back here. So here what I need to do, I need to search out my file as I have not opened it. It's called 123.php. Forbidden, you do not have, need to check again, localhost dot p, sorry, yes, this file, yes, this file's ISS successfully, and as you see the output, it contains 1, 2, 3, and 5. As you see, I zoomed it for you. Numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now need to go back in the code here one. As I told you that it initialized, we have started from the one, and it checks the condition every time. Every time when it increments the previous number, it will again check this condition. This condition is considered very, very important in the loop. Okay, so if this condition is true, this part will run. Okay, this increment part will run, and if this condition is false, all the numbers, okay, which is true, okay, it will print on the screen. So this is how the while loop works. This is a simple while loop condition. Let's say I'm removing this increment. Let's say what will happen. Need to go back in the browser. As you see, this number is executing itself, 11111. It is repeating itself, and might be your computer got stuck, okay, if you not stop this one, because you need to define the increment. So if you define the increment, okay, if you define the increment, it will work, okay. And if you do not increment, this one is repeating and it will eat all of your computer memory. So you must be very conscious to give the increment variable in order to stop this. So I have assigned this increment variable. Now let's see, it will still in loading. So as you know, it's not now responding, because as it's not responding because I have not assigned the increment operator, so it will not work. Now let me close this window first of all, and let's see will it allows me or not. Okay, I'm just direct closing from here. Close the program. So I am closing this, hope so it will work. So once it close it, okay, I will again access the file through my browser. So need to wait as it is closed successfully. Now I am moving from here and I'm going to Google again. So here I'm not restoring the page, okay, I'm just typing this all things. I'm just typing localhost again and accessing the file, and I have accessed this file successfully. Now 1234. So you must be very conscious while declaring or adding this increment operator. Okay, if you're not adding this increment operating, it will run. It is repeating the digit, the first digit repeating itself many times. So you need to give the increment value as well. So this is the syntax of the PHP while loop. Now we are moving. We remember every loop contains the three parts. First is called the initialize. This one, this variable I initialize. Second part is this condition, and third part is the increment. Every loop must contain these three parts. Without these, any of this part, loop cannot run. So you need to give each and every condition very carefully. Now we are moving to the PHP do while loop. And what is the PHP do while loop? We need to discuss it quickly. I am defining it again here. Be remembered one difference I'm telling you about the do while loop. So do so do there is one difference between the while loop and the do while loop. We remember while loop first check the conditions, okay. While loop actually first checks the condition. If the condition is true, then it will further proceed, otherwise not. But in the case of the do while loop, actually it will execute that variable which you initialize one time, then it checks the condition whether the condition is true or false. but it will always run one time, always, for every time. It doesn't care that whether the condition is true or whether the condition is false. Let's see. Here I define, I'm giving the variable that is called I initialize with 0. So once I initialize with 0, do and in code I need to print out, that is echo. In echo I need to display numbers are. So once I here I need to give the variable as well. So once I need break for next line. Okay, so here now I need to give the condition, and the condition what I'm giving. Before giving the condition, one thing we more need to do, that is called the $x, the increment, which is very necessary. So in last we need to give the condition in do while. Okay, and in do while I'm giving is less than or equal to let's say 10. So once I assign this condition, now it will actually increment this 0 to 1. Okay, then it will check this condition whether the condition is true or false. Then it will further decide whether the loop will execute or not, but it will run one time. Let's see in the browser how it looks like. As it is displaying 0 up to 10. Okay, because the condition is true, that's why it is executing this one. Let me make the condition false. Let me make the condition false. Let's see which part of the loop. As you see now, number 0 is always printing. As I told you, it will always print the first one. Okay, because it will check the condition in last, while the while loop checks the condition first, then decide whether to increment or decrement. Okay, while in do while it actually execute this first variable, then it will check that whether the condition is true or false. If the condition is false, then it will simply display that first number, but if the condition is true, it will display the number of the condition which we assign in the do while. So this is a basic difference between the while and the do while loop. So guys, this is, we discussed about the two loops before, about the while loop and the do while loop. So today we are discussing the for loop. So for loop, as I told you before, that for loop is we use when we know in advance that how many times we want to run the script. So when we know in advance, let's say I want to print the 500 times, so I know this condition advance, so I prefer to use the for loop. And same like for the other while and the do while, it also contain the three parts. Every loop contain the must three part. First is called the initializer, initialize condition, then incremental, and sorry, second the condition, and third is the incremental. So let's starting and proper doing in the code. So I'm declaring the PHP. So this is PHP I have started. Now I need to give add the for loop. So for loop, as I told you, this first part is actually indicates the initialize. So where you want to initialize this. Then this part is called the condition, that how many times you want to run the script. And the third part is called the increment. If the condition is true, then it will increment that number, otherwise not. So let's starting as I am initializing with the 1, and I am saying the condition is less than or equal to 5. This loop will run until it is equal to the 5. Okay, and increment is fine. So here what I need to do, I need to print in the echo numbers are. So once I define the number, then what I need to do in the dollar I, okay, I declare the I, and then I need to add the break statement for separate line. Sorry, this break will come inside the code. Okay, sorry, I did this one also wrong. This one also will come in the code. So I'm cutting it here and putting here. Okay, so once I did this one, now I need to save the file and let's run this code in the browser. So let me refresh. As you see, numbers are 1 2 3 4 5. Actually I did a one mistake. This break will come last, and this will come first. Now it will work fine, I hope so. Need to refresh the browser. Yes, numbers are 1 2 3 and 5. And why this number is starting from 1? The reason is that because I initialize with the 1. If I initialize with the 0, it will start from the 0. So it depends on the initialization of the loop. So as I initialize with the 1, so it started from the 1 and it runs until it is equal to the 5 or less than 5. And we remember, when the condition is true, then this third part will run, otherwise not. If the condition is false, it will not increment. We remember the second condition, sorry, the third condition depends on the second one. If the second one condition is true, then the third one will run, and if the second condition is false, then the third one will not run. So this is about the for loop, very easy loop, and for loop we commonly using. Okay, and the next loop which we are discussing, that is called the PHP for each loop. And what is the for each loop, we need to also discuss that one. So let me write and remove this bracket. For each loop, so for each loop basically we are using, okay, it will work on the arrays. Okay, it will always work on the arrays. Okay, and we used to loop through each key values in a pair in an array. So let's starting this. So for each loop, what I need to do, as before starting this one, I need to declare a variable. Let's say I'm declaring a variable of different, let's say, fruits. So once I have taken the fruits variable, I need to define an array. Let me write this one below. Okay, so sorry one. So I declared first of all a variable, an array. Okay, array I'm declaring. So here I'm declaring an array. So I have created an array. Now inside an array I'm giving the various group names. Let's say apple, and here I'm giving the values as one. Let's say I'm removing this key one and I'm just only assigning the some key values. I'm giving the banana. Okay, so let's say that this one I have given these two things, and one more I am adding, that is called the peach flavor, peach fruit I added. Now what I need to do, how to use a for loop. We remember, in this dollar variable you need to define the variable where you have created the array. You need to give that variable which you used to create array. So here I give fruits. Okay, as key value is value, because we didn't assign any key, we just have put the value. So I'm removing the key, I'm just taking as a dollar value. So once I have created the value, so inside this one, what will work, that is called the echo. And what I need to do in echo, I need to give, that is called the dollar value, and then I'm giving the break statement for the separate line. So this will for loop now works, and what the for loop prints, it will print all the things that are present in an array. So what I did, for each loop, first of all I need to give that variable, okay, where which I used to define an array, where I saved the array as a fruit and I have taken as a value. Now let's see what will happen in the browser. I need to refresh the page again, and it's printing the all thing which is present in an array, that is the apple, banana and the peach. So these three things will, as I have taken in array. Let me use the key value as well. So let me use the key values. So key values I'm using, let's say the apple is for, let's say, for $20, and the key value I'm using for the banana one, I have, let's say the amount for the banana would be, yeah, $11. Okay, so I need to go, and for the peach one I have, that is sorry, before declaring this one, I need to remove the comma. Okay, so peach, let's say value is $30. So what I need to do, declaring here, now you will see, I will see, and you will observe in the browser what will happen. It will also displays the key value as well in the browser. Let me refresh. Now it is only displaying the prices, not displaying the item name. So for the item names I need to give as dollar value, sorry, dollar, what is it called, key. Now let's see what will happen. It's giving an error. Let me check. Let me again write this for each loop. I think I mistake from thing for you. Okay. So dollar variable is clear. Now I need to give the fruits. Okay. So fruits I have taken and as a key value. That's fine. Now here I what I need to do in the echo. I need to display that what is it called the value dollar value, and here I'm giving the break statement. So once I defined it here, now let's see in the browser will it would be work fine. No, it is not still displaying the price. I need to check it again. I think so. We need to give the value. I forgot to display the second one that is called the dollar key, and I'm using the break line separator. Now let's see in the browser. Will it work fine? Yes. Now for the apple one, okay, it is showing the price. For the banana one, it is also showing the price, and for the peach one, it is also showing the price. So this is how you use the for each loop. Okay. So let me, if I remove this break, let's see what it will work. Sorry, it will not. Okay, for the actually, if I use the break, it will be the good one. Okay, will actually displaying all the possible things. Okay, for the 20 apple, the price is the 20, 11 for the banana, and 30 for the pea. So this is how your for each loop works, and it is works on especially on arrays. Okay, because we know very well that in PHP the concept of arrays is very important. We have some super global variables which we discuss later, so we will use this loop later. So guys, I hope so you like this video. If you like this video, kindly do like, subscribe and share. Meet you in next video. Take care and thank you.